everyone, this is the Sun Woman, and I just want to welcome you to my channel. Happy new moon in Virgo, and not only is this new moon that's taking place on the 13th a time for new beginnings as the new moon astrologically, but it's also a solar eclipse. And just to explain what that means to us, I'm just going to use one of these seashells here to represent the Earth. And so during a solar eclipse, the moon is directly between the Earth and the Sun. Okay? And that in astrology is known as a conjunction between the Sun and the moon. Now during this time, this very brief time, the moon can kind of block out the Sun. And it temporarily turns off the lights, so to speak. So we have a finite focus as human beings, and it's natural for us to concentrate really on what's in front of us. At times, this can really limit our perspectives on the world and in our lives, and it can cause us to miss out on opportunities in our lives. So during these amazing solar eclipses, the eclipse might snatch away what's familiar to us temporarily, and that forces us to consider options we might never otherwise have explored in our lives. Although this kind of causes some temporary upheaval sometimes, eclipses are hard to be kind, so to speak, okay? So major growth can happen during these cosmic power outages. And this is really when we should leap into the new in our lives and generally improve, what's going on, even if we feel kind of forced by circumstances to do that. So this is a really big month, not just the solar eclipse that's taking place on the 13th of September, but the full moon at the end of the month. You can really think of it like an astrological purge that's going on for us, a true cleansing. And there are going to be truths that are going to be revealed. Old systems, old situations are going to fall by the wayside in our lives. I'm telling you, by October, we're going to be totally new, different people, and it's exciting, it's scary, but this is something that's going to be happening for the good in your life, for your spiritual good, and for to improve the quality of your life, which is really most important. It's going to be a time, if you're ready, to really set your intentions on what you want in your life, what you want to see, what you want to know, the truth that you want to find out, either from yourself, or the people that are around you. Denial can be very comfortable, but it's really not real. We've got to take a deep breath for this new moon and ask for the truth. And even though that might scare us, know that what comes out of it is going to move us to the next level on our paths here, okay? Now, look at what hasn't been working in your life. Make a declaration to yourself that you're not going to operate with old situations, old parameters anymore. For example, if you've been behaving a certain way in a romantic relationship and you've really outgrown that way of being, it's time to switch to something else. Be really honest with yourself. If you're not happy with what you're receiving in your life, what can you do what can you change to set up a new paradigm, a new structure? Remember, often what we're not currently receiving is the same thing that we're not giving generously in our lives, okay? Now this Virgo energy, it's all about cleaning up, tidying up, decluttering, becoming organized so that we can really take control of our lives. Remember, you can't make empowered decisions when you're living in a mess, either emotionally, psychologically, or even physically, in your own surroundings. So have a clean space in your mind, in your heart, in your life to act from, and that's going to be the ideal baseline to get the most out of these tremendous energies, okay? So again, this is the Sun Woman. I'm an empathic astrologer and tarot reader, and I'm going to go ahead and do a reading for each of the individual 12 signs, and these readings apply to you whether the sun is in the sign, whether it's your moon sign or your rising sign. Thank you so much. Hello Pisces, here's your reading for the solar eclipse in Virgo. Now, this is a very powerful time for you, Pisces, because Virgo is your opposite sign. So whenever we have strong planetary movement on the angles of our charts, which would be the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house, for you, this eclipse is happening in your 7th house of partnerships. Whenever these angles are aspected by strong astrological influences, it is a pivotal time for you in these areas of your life. So for you, this eclipse in Virgo is taking place in your 7th house. It is the 7th house representing your intimate partnerships, whether that is on a romantic level or on a business level, talking about a spouse, talking about a long-term partner, talking about a business partner. The 7th house is contracts with someone that have been long-term commitments. The 7th house is directly going to be affecting you. And so many times when the 7th house is strong, you are very much going to be influenced by whoever that partner situation is. They're going to have a lot of control in the situation. On some level, it's really going to be out of your control. You're going to have to be the reacting person as opposed to the acting person here. So it is definitely dealing with a strong personal connection is where you are going to find things highlighted for this eclipse. The eclipse may eclipse a person out of your life, so it may be a do or die situation, make it or break it situation for a long-term partnership for you. That may mean the end of a partnership or the moving on to the next level of a partnership. So potential for separations, potential for divorces, potential for marriages and engagements coming up, the potential for moving in with someone, taking things to the next level, or a drastic change in a current partnership. So these are the areas that, again, are highlighted by this moon, and I'm just going to do a 7-card reading to find out what the message is for you, Pisces, for this Virgo solar eclipse. Okay, that top card really wants to jump out there. Okay, and we have the Emperor in the recent past, the 2 of Swords reversed in the present, the 5 of Swords in the near future, the 10 of Wands reversed in the crowning position, or the advice card here, the Page of Pentacles in the card that rules the external influences, Judgment in your hopes and fears, and Strength reversed in the near future, and the base card here is the 4 of Swords reversed. Okay, so the energy here is the predominant suit being the sword, which talks about a lot of changes taking place, but very much on a mental level. Okay, so a lot going on inside your head for this next new moon period, Pisces, and feeling like there is something going on where you are either stuck and unable to make some decisions, or decisions have been taken out of your hands, detachment from someone or something in your life. Let's go through the cards here. So the Emperor is a card that represents strong foundations. The Emperor is a powerful man. Usually it's the father card, so it has a lot to do with fatherhood. It is a strong male influence in your life. If you are a male, Pisces, this very strongly can represent you. Pisces is the father sign traditionally, so Emperor being the father card, I feel like this is a representative of Pisces males as father, if that, if this is something that is in your life, or the influence of a father in the past. It also can represent the building of a foundation where you have a certain reputation, where you are seen as a stable person in society, a respected person in society, where you have built something that has gone on for a long time, established maybe a company, it could be a marriage, it could be a partnership, something that has been solid and rooted, okay, and is seen by the outer world as a respectable establishment. The Emperor also can refer to, the Emperor can also give the impression of things being stable and all of that, the things that I just discussed, but inside, depending on the other cards around it, it could just be a facade, okay? So let's see what's going on here. So in your recent past, we're talking about things going on in your life, either with someone of this quality, or you having built this type of persona or been acting in this way in the last 30 days, okay? Now, the Two of Swords reversed with the current position. Often the Two of Swords, when it's right side up, talks about the need to make a decision and being stuck, being at a standstill, a truce, a delay in being able to make a decision. The Two of Swords, the person has two swords, they're crossed against his or her chest, and the person is blindfolded. So there is maybe a desire not to have to make a decision, but knowing that one has to be made eventually, and feeling blind in being able to make that decision, not being prepared, not being ready to make that decision. I feel like the Two of Swords covering you right now in the reversed is that you are getting to the point now where you know that a decision must be made, okay? You are being forced by this new moon eclipse energy to make something happen, okay? To step off from your fence that you have been sitting on, trying to figure out if you're going left or if you're going right, and to now take action, okay? To wield either one of these swords, either the left or the right. Take off the blindfold and allow yourself to see clearly that a decision has to be made now, okay? In the future position, we have the Five of Swords. Often the Five of Swords is a difficult card because what it means is that there is a feeling of a defeat and of now needing to pick up the pieces and figure out what to do next, okay? With this figure in the holding the swords, there are two laid here down on the ground, feeling like, and if you look in the background, you see two figures walking away. Very possible that these two figures have dropped each one of their swords at this person's feet, and now they are walking away from the situation. There's a defeat here. The person here is picking up the swords. He or she may have won, but there is it's a bitter satisfaction. It's not a feeling of a positive win. There is a loss in reference to this win. So this may be talking about the situation where you are needing to make a decision, and in this 30-day cycle, you are going to find that the decision is perhaps taken out of your hands because someone is going to decide to drop their weapons and to step away from the situation. This is happening for you in your 7th house again, so this is a relationship situation. Curiously, I don't see cups here, so I'm not seeing emotion. I'm seeing that emotion is gone from this situation. It's not existing right now. At this point, there is the decision-making process that it has evolved to that, okay? And in the crowning position, we have the Ten of Wands. The Wands talks about change, and the Ten of Wands usually represents a burden that has been carried here. So you may have been carrying a very heavy burden the last few months. And now you're going to find that it's time for you to start dropping these burdens and letting them go, releasing them into the universe and letting them disperse, because the Ten of Wands reversed is saying lay down your burden now. It's time to do that. The tens are the ends of a cycle. What comes after the 10 is the 1, which is the new beginning, a brand new beginning. But you have to end the cycle. And so the Ten of Wands is telling you that there is a change, there are changes that need to be made, but you cannot be afraid at this point to now lay down the burdens you've been carrying. And you've been carrying some heavy ones. You know, this person is slumped over, they have been weighted down with responsibility, and they're now facing a situation where it's time to start letting things go. The Page of Pentacles in your outside influences here. This is something that is not within your control. This is people or circumstances around you externally. We have the Page of Pentacles reversed, and pages often represent children, whether they are younger or older. So it could be the influence of a child in your life, and there is some type of financial responsibility in reference to this child. It can be child, it can be children. So there may be some heavy responsibility with the Ten of Wands next to this Page of Pentacles, some heavy responsibility that you're carrying in reference to a child. You know, you also may be thinking about how you're going to support this child. And once you start laying down these burdens, part of the responsibility you have is now to make sure that this person you're responsible for is taking care of you, you know, during the changes that you are going to be bringing about in this situation, okay? And that this person or this child is not negatively affected by what it is you are going to be changing. It's very possible that this could be a marital situation where one of the characters here on this card walking away is a spouse and the other is a child. So it may entail a separation from a partner and a child that you have with them, okay? And I feel like, though, that in your hopes and fears section here, you have Judgment, and I think that you are, number one, you're afraid that you're going to be judged negatively if you do, if this situation does end, if you do give up. And you also may be hoping for a new beginning. Judgment is often the new beginning to something, you waking up from the difficulties and stresses that you've been experiencing and coming into a new understanding of things. Judgment, again, is often following a new path. So you may be looking to move forward, and what I'm also getting from Judgment is legal matters, okay? So Judgment can represent a judgment, or you being judged, or you being in court to receive a judgment here, okay? So there may be the fear of that you may have to go to court because of this situation, whether it be a support situation or a separation or divorce. And with the Strength card in the future as the potential outcome, I feel like you are going to be feeling in the next 30-day cycle that you're not ready to make this decision. Even if circumstances are forcing your hand, and even if someone is potentially about to walk away from you, you do not feel equipped right now to deal with this change. And this, maybe you still carrying these weights and burdens. You're not feeling equipped. You're not feeling strong enough to release this situation. I also feel that you are feeling vulnerable. You will be feeling vulnerable because of your concerns about perhaps a legal matter, or feeling vulnerable if someone walks away from you in this situation. So strength is calling on you in the next month or so to dig down deep into your inner resources of inner strength in reference to a partnership situation. You may be feeling, yes, that you are ready to, you may be feeling that you are no longer invested in this situation, that you have a very weak feeling about this relationship, that it is no longer a strong connection. You have a very weak connection to this person. So if there is not a separation that happens, you may still be feeling like you're just not invested in this any longer, that the foundations that were built are no longer strong, and you will be trying to figure out how to now start pulling away or laying down your foundations in order to start making plans to move away from this situation. Okay, now in the base of the reading here with the Four of Swords reverse, I feel like you are being asked to detach yourself from the situation, and you are feeling secluded right now. You are feeling, and not that you're being asked to detach yourself, but you are being called upon to now come back into the world. You are in your head a great deal. You are thinking a lot about the situation. You are overthinking about the situation right now, because frankly, could be a very life-changing, pivotal decision that you may need to make, that may be uprooting foundations that have been long-term for you, a way of life that you are used to. And you are being called upon now to get out of your head and to see clearly a path forward in this situation. The Four of Swords is reversed here, so the swords are starting to fall away. You may have experienced a great deal of heartache and pain in reference to this situation, and you've been with the king, the emperor here, you've been keeping up a brave face, keeping up a brave appearance, trying to make like everything was cool, but it really isn't. But you have to keep up a front, perhaps for this child, okay, and for the good of the family situation. But now the swords, you're starting to detach. Again, there are no cups here, so there's no sense of emotion here. There is a great deal of detachment and releasing of things, and you are maybe in that stage now where within the next 30 days you will be calling upon your reserves and reviewing the situation and allowing yourself to detach from it, so that you can make hard decisions that you may be needing to make at this time. Again, feeling like this is in reference to a partner, possibly to a marriage that you are no longer invested in, that may have become now more of a burden to you than a satisfying emotional situation. Okay, and I do feel that judgment again is being brought to my attention. I do feel that you are feeling that there is something calling you, okay? Like this angel who is sounding, the tone here with a new flag. I feel like there is a need for atonement You may be feeling spiritual need for atonement for what has happened here. I feel like perhaps you have been praying on the situation. There are a number of religious holidays in this month. And so during your prayers, perhaps you have been asking for guidance from God to give you strength and to guide you on what decisions to make in this situation, and possibly fearing that if you do separate or if you do end a relationship or a marriage, that you are going to be judged on a spiritual level. So it's important for you to seek guidance, to seek spiritual guidance. There may be someone in your life who is a spiritual counselor who you may need to speak to get a better perspective on what it is that you're feeling, and get to the bottom of the, get to the roots of the causes here and what it is you are feeling you need to do at this point in reference to a relationship. Okay, and so what I want to go ahead and do here is give you a card for additional guidance from the Tao Oracle Pisces, which is kind of a summation, a conclusion, a additional underlining message to summarize the message that is being imparted by the tarot cards here. And the card that I'm receiving for Pisces, okay, is Grace. Okay, and Grace for me is Grace is a beautiful card, and I'm going to tell you what the key words here under Grace are. Adornment, bring out beauty, elegance, the outer as a reflection of the inner, vanity, charisma, self-expression. So what I'm feeling here is that you may be asked at this point to represent yourself in a way that shows the very best of you, Pisces. I feel that you are going to be regarded in the next month or so as someone who possesses grace, as someone who is a graceful person, as someone who is a beautiful, elegant, charismatic, expressive person. And you are regarded that way. So regardless of the inner turmoil that you may be experiencing, you are being seen as someone who is tremendously graceful and charismatic. And don't be afraid to express that side of yourself. Because it's very possible that this is going to make all the difference for you in you being able to get through this period in a positive way. Okay, the seventh house has to do again with partnerships. So you may be looking for a partner who allows you to express yourself in this manner and who is attracted to you and to this beauty. So what I feel is that if something ends, if a relationship ends, don't be afraid to let your inner light, your inner beauty, and your inner charisma show through. Don't let this situation snuff out your grace and your self-expression, because you will be allowing yourself, if you act in a way that you want things to be, and if you act to attract something beautiful in your life, you will indeed attract something beautiful in your life. Okay? The energy that we put out there is the energy that we get back. So don't allow this situation to keep you secluded, or keep you, stuck in the shadows, or not wanting to get out into the world, because I feel that you are going to be tremendously appreciated for your grace and your beauty and your elegance. Adornment is here. This may seem like a small thing, but don't be afraid to go get your hair done, to get a makeover, to go out and buy some new clothes. Whatever it is that's going to allow you to keep your self-image strong and feeling vital and feeling lovable and desirable. Use those things, okay? Because again, the positive energy that you put out into the universe is the energy that you are going to be getting back. All right, Pisces, so I do feel, that this is going to be a very strong period for you with partnerships. Mercury is going to be going retrograde on the 17th, so this is not a time to move forward aggressively. It really is a time to kind of wait and see what's going to be happening, especially from a connection with another person. Allow others to act. Do not be the one to initiate action here. Wait and see, because others may act before you, and you will be in a stronger position to be in a reactive position than in an active position during this time, okay? The eclipses are shaking up a lot of things around you, shaking up your life, shaking up your partnerships, and we don't want to initiate action right now. We want to kind of sit back and see what is happening. You may be feeling like you need to make a decision. You may be feel like you're being pulled to make a decision, but what I tell you to do is just hold back and see what happens in the next 30 days. And then when Mercury moves forward and the eclipses have, calmed down, when the atmosphere is calmer, you'll know what you need to do. It will be very clear to you what you need to do. Do not move out of a position of weakness. If that's what you're feeling, wait until you are feeling stronger and you have recuperated completely from what is possibly going to happen within the next 30 days. Do not see this as a defeat if something does take place, if someone is eclipsed out of your life, because many times that's what the eclipses do. Wait and see. Keep your light strong. Be graceful. Deal with whatever happens with a sense of grace, not in an aggressive way, with a sense of reflecting on the situation and understanding what your place is in the story that is going to unfold. Pisces, thank you so much, and I do hope that this reading was helpful to you and that it resonated with you. If it did and you'd like to get a personal reading from me, please go ahead and click on the link that's in the information box. That will take you to my website, and you can book a private reading with me. Again, do wish you a good new moon in Virgo solar eclipse period. Keep your intuition, your strong Pisces intuition, let it work for you. Let it speak to you on what to do in this situation if you are presented with others' actions that are that will be affecting you. And when you come out of this new moon period, I feel that you will come out stronger, more graceful, and more fluid in your water element that you're part of. Thank you so much.